while you guys are getting warmed up and asking us some questions, we actually did receive some questions during the week. So we'll go through that. And we actually have quite an interesting question from Patricia. So Patricia says, hey both, thank you so much for all your super helpful video. I've got a question. I will be traveling around New Zealand by car rental. Will I be able to see everything I want, or will there be a few places that I can go to? Thanks a ton. So where can you go with a car rental? Or where can't you go?
Yeah.
All right, Patricia. So it's a really good question. There are some fine prints in your car rental agreements in which you will have to abide by, and that may restrict a few areas you go to while in New Zealand. But there are also some areas which are either from the Department of Conservation, which therefore have a concession and only selected amount of tour operators can take you to, or there are some places which is just not convenient or not fun at all to go by car. And so for this reason, we would recommend going by bus. So while answering your question, we'll go through all of those different options. But first up, let's talk a little bit about some conditions from your car rental, and especially from the car rental insurance that goes alongside with it.
Yeah, so in a lot of car rental policies, there are conditions where the most common condition you'll find in New Zealand is that you can't take your car rental or your rental car onto gravel roads. And as you'll travel around New Zealand and maybe want to get to some more sort of hidden walks or places that are a little bit off the main tourist trail, you'll find that there's actually quite a lot of gravel roads in New Zealand. So that's just sort of an unfortunate thing, really, if that is in your car rental agreement. But it's definitely worth looking out for before hiring a car. If you know you're going to be going somewhere which is probably going to have a gravel road, it's a good idea to actually look through the fine print and see if you actually are allowed to do that, because otherwise the reason that's there is basically they don't cover you. Like if you get a windscreen chip, which is a common occurrence on gravel roads, it's usually when two cars are passing and gravel flies and chips the windscreen of one of the cars. But if that happens to your car rental, then the insurance that you probably purchased will not cover it. So that's like the reason that they do that.
So yeah, so you've got to be aware of that when traveling around New Zealand in car rental. And there are some places that you have multiple options to get to it, either a gravel one or a sealed one, and you always obviously want to pick the sealed.
Yeah, and going to most, like, you know, the places that most people go to when they come to travel around New Zealand, like most of the roads are sealed. You will just find, like, if you do go off the beaten track, you will find some gravel roads.
So let's start with 90 Mile Beach. So where is 90 Mile Beach? Should we get the map out, actually?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about 90 Mile Beach. So 90 Mile Beach is a place where you won't be able to go to when driving around New Zealand by car. Rental. By car, yes, but by car rental you can. So it's right here.
So 90 Mile Beach is actually an official highway in New Zealand, and it is just a really long beach, pretty much. It's in the Northland region, and although all locals and stuff, they all take their cars onto 90 Mile Beach and just drive along the beach. Almost all car rental agreements, like everyone we've ever seen, have all forbidden people to take car rentals onto 90 Mile Beach. And the reason is that a lot of cars have got stuck on the beach over the years. You can actually see photos on the internet of juicy camper vans sort of half submerged in the sand, you know, so...
We're laughing, but they're not, obviously. It is quite funny.
Yeah, so that's the reason why car rental companies definitely don't want people going onto 90 Mile Beach. But there is an alternative to go to 90 Mile Beach, and there are actually several bus tours. There's about 3 different bus tour companies that can take you along 90 Mile Beach, and sort of they have all the right setup to, you know, they have the 4-wheel drive buses and all that sort of thing. So they're less likely to get stuck in the sand, and even if they did, it wouldn't be your problem. Yeah,
and to be fair, the whole trip is quite long, you know, to go from. So usually you start in the town of Pahia and you go all the way up to the top of New Zealand, and you see Cape King Reinga, where you have, like, you know, the Tasman Sea and the Pacific Ocean meeting, and it's a fantastic place to visit. But the whole thing is quite a long kind of day out, you know. It's about 12 hours, you know, between the drive and, you know, doing a little bit of a walk and then coming back. So you actually kind of better off letting the bus driver drive for you, because I wouldn't want to do all those activities plus be driving, and it's just a bit of a nonsense.
And also the benefit of doing a bus tour, like why that even would be better than car rental if you could take a car rental, is that they take you to a place called Te Paki Stream, which is really famous for its sand dunes, and they basically the bus tours will provide the bodyboards so that you can try sandboarding on the sand dune, and that means you don't have to go out and buy your own to enjoy that activity. So kind of like the buses are all set up so that you can do the activities included in the tour for the whole day, and they take you to various different spots. A lot of the tours also include a lunch, so you can have like a New Zealand fish and chips on the way, and they take you to some places that you probably never heard of, some small towns on the way up to Cape Reinga as well. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects to those tours that makes it more than just a way to just go to 90 Mile Beach.
All right, so moving on to another place that you can't go by car rental, it's Farrell's Pit, which is around here in New Zealand. So what is Farrell's Pit, and why can you not go there by car?
Yeah, so Farewell Spit is the longest sand spit in New Zealand. It is at the top of the South Island in a place that's commonly known as Golden Bay. It's near a town called Collingwood. But yeah, other than the fact that it is a sand spit made out of sand, there's probably would be issues with taking cars onto a beach and getting stuck. But the main reason why you can't take car rentals onto the sand spit, or actually you can't even walk to certain sections of the sand spit, is because it's one of the most protected places in New Zealand. It's more protected than a national park, and that's because the ecosystem there is so diverse. It's rich in wildlife and bird life. It's a really fascinating place to go, and you can only do a Department of Conservation walk up just a small section of the sand spit. But if you want to see like a good part, like most of the sand spits, there is one bus company that has a concession to go there, and they're called Farewell Spit Eco Tours.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get on a bus and you're with this really knowledgeable guide who has been doing this bus run, and his family's been doing mail runs to the old lighthouse keepers on the Farewell Spit for years. So yeah, so this guy knows a lot about Farewell Spit, and you're very likely to see wildlife like seals.
It's a super fun tour.
Yeah.
Actually, you can see, so 90 Mile Beach, you can see us doing the tour on the video right here on this channel. You can also see us doing the Farewell Spit tour as well, so you can see what it is like and why those places are so exceptional.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just the one place where it's like, not only can you not access by foot, you can't access by car rental, and the only way basically to see Farewell Spit properly is on this one bus tour. So
yeah, even if you were to walk, there is actually at some point there's some sign that says you need to stop walking now and just walk back. So it's kind of an interesting place in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I like this question. We actually get to cover places that we don't usually talk too much about. I like it. So the next place we're going to be talking about is Skipper's Canyon. So same name, Skipper's Canyon. You can't get there with your car rental, but you can get there by bus.
Yeah. So the reason you can't go there with your car rental...
Skipper's Canyon is around Queenstown. I don't need to show people where Queenstown is.
So yeah, Skipper's Canyon is really close to Queenstown. It's literally about a 20-minute drive from the town. But the reason car rental companies don't want you taking your car there is because it is notoriously known as one of the most dangerous roads in the world. Mm-hmm. It's a very steep, it's a steep road. It's a very narrow road, and it's basically going on the edge of a canyon sort of wall, and it's a bit of a sketchy drive. You probably wouldn't want to drive it yourself anyway. So the best way to access the notorious Skipper's Canyon Road is by one of the actually many bus tours or even four-wheel drive tours that can take you there. The really cool thing about Skipper's Road is that this is the place you need to go down to access some of the jet boat tours in Queenstown and some of the whitewater rafting tours. So if you go on Queenstown rafting, if you're doing a Queenstown rafting tour, you'll be taking this road to get to your sort of put-in point with the rafts, and taking a bus, with a trailer full of rafts down this road is quite the adventure. It's probably more scary than the adrenaline activity itself.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if you go on Skipper's Canyon Jet or Skipper's Jet, not quite sure what their name is, Skipper's Canyon Jet, we'll say, they also take you down that road in order to get to their sort of jet boat section of the river. But otherwise, Nomad Safaris, which is a 4-wheel drive tour around Queenstown, that's one of the places that they visit on one of their tours. So you get to also learn a little bit about the history of the canyon as well, because it used to be a mining area. So yeah, that's what you can sort of do at Skipper's Canyon, but in short, you can't take your car rental down there.
And you can see us doing those activities as well. And you can see all those videos of us doing the Skipper's Canyon jet roads about 3 times. I think we did it with the rafting, we did it with Nomad Safari, we did it with the jet boat. So yeah, we've been there a few times, and you can see this on video on the channel. So yeah, just type Skipper's Canyon.
Yeah.
Another place you can't go by car is Nevis Road.
Yes, the Nevis Road. This is the
in Queenstown as well.
Yes, this is also in Queenstown, or just outside Queenstown, and this is the access road to get to the Nevis Canyon. And if anyone knows about bungee jumps in New Zealand, this is actually where New Zealand's highest bungee jump is located, the Nevis Bungee, and also the Nevis Swing. There's like a huge sort of swing across the canyon,
and the catapult
as well. Oh, they have the catapult now as well. Yes, so
if you're nuts, you get there. Basically.
So yeah, this is, and the only way, there's no like public access for cars. You can't take your car rental there. The only way you can get there is basically you book your bungee jump or your canyon swing or your catapult in Queenstown in the town centre, and then they have a bus that comes and picks you up, and that's the only way that you can actually get to the Nevis Canyon. And it's again one of those little bit of a dodgy roads where you wonder how this bus is fitting down such a narrow road. But yeah, that's another place.
Somehow it works.
Somehow it does work. And again, it is questionable whether that is the adrenaline activity rather than the bungee jump you're heading to.
No, the bungee jump is worse. No.
Yeah.
All right, and so before we go back to all of your questions, guys, we're going to cover one more item on this list, and it's an area that is just way easier to get to by bus rather than going with your own car rental. And that will be in North Coromandel, which is this area right here of New Zealand.
Yeah, so in the northern Coromandel area, like everyone will have heard of places like Hot Water Beach and Cathedral Cove, but right in the north of the Coromandel Peninsula, there is this like amazing landscape to discover. There's walks, there's campgrounds, there's nice farmland with lots of sheep, a beautiful coastline, but yeah, not many people think to go there. And also maybe the main reason is because actually the road to get up there is a very narrow gravel road. So first of all, your car rental agreement might not allow you to go on the gravel road to go up there, but otherwise you might also not feel super confident driving on such a narrow road, sort of on the sometimes you're on the cliff sides along the coast. So if you feel a little bit apprehensive about doing that drive, then there is a really cool tour company called Coromandel Adventures that can take you up the northern Coromandel area and take you to some beautiful places. And there's the Murawai Walk, which is really, really awesome. You have beautiful scenery around you. There's also Fletcher's Bay. So it's another really good like sort of sweeping beach. And the beauty of going to that area is that it's a part of the Coromandel that you rarely see anyone on. Yes. So you can sort of experience like a part of that really.
Even on the video where we did the tour, first we saw no one for the entire tour, and we were the only one on the tour. So we had a whole driver to ourselves, a whole bus to ourselves. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So like the only thing you'll see there are like in terms of things that are alive, and probably not the best way to birds. There's a duck there. There's some sheep. So if you want to experience sort of like a quiet corner of New Zealand, the northern Coromandel area is definitely a really cool place to check out.
And you can check out a video of us doing this activity on this channel as well. We've done quite a lot of activities. All right, so I hope that this answered your question, Patricia. If you guys have any follow-up question on that, just put them in the comment section of this video, and we'll be able to answer them for you guys on video every single week. Otherwise, join us during one of our live sessions, which is on Sunday every single week at 8 AM New Zealand time. Check out what time it is in your side of the world. Or you can check out www.nzpocketguide.com, which is our website and the largest travel guide to New Zealand. It's all free for you guys, so it's awesome. Now let's go back to the live chat.